the task that they're going to lay out for the next several months on this and what they think
Well,
the
actually, most of
changes?
that has been done. All of it's done, the design is done, everything's done. They're going to just be, actually, our Civic Plus is gonna stop, and then this one's gonna take over.
So maybe next
Sylvia,
few
Ethan,
weeks,
and I
couple
all
of
work
weeks, you
together.
could come in, yeah.
Yeah,
Do us a little
I just think it'd be
demonstration.
helpful to get a little.
What are the benefits of this? You said Civic Plus was our prior hosting?
The Civic Plus website was not being utilized. We were paying to utilize a website that we weren't using. You know, most of it we weren't using.
But we have it. Wait, this isn't our City of Plattsburgh website?
It is,
Yeah.
it's replacing
We're
it
just
with
changing.
another provider.
But when you have a huge website like that nobody's managing and nobody's using, we have a handful of people that are actually doing anything on the website. So we're doing a shared try to do some more shared services with the county to have a website that they host, and we've used designed it to look like it's more user-friendly with Albany, but it's also more basic than we need. It's nothing that we don't need. We're doing, so that was what we did with them, is to try to get it, and the cost is going to be, the cost savings after, like the mayor said, after the second year will go down quite a bit,
What are the cost savings before?
It's about a couple thousand a year. But after that, it'll be closer to about 5,000 per year will be saved.
No, but it will still be city staff or the same people that are controlling the
yes.
content?
The only thing they'll be doing is hosting the website. We're gonna be working on the content and everything, just like we always did.
And somewhat related to that, the Chamberlain's been working with OpenGov. That's finally able to come online with day-to-day, daily refreshes any day now.
I believe they're going to start that within a week because they're backloading the old data to the year 2000, 2018 back. So 19 is going to come to the minutes, so they'll start doing the data.
So what we might do is your next governance meeting, have a demo about OpenGov and the new website.
That would be great.
Okay. So let's try and get that together, Beth, for the first governance meeting of November. We'll do a demo of both OpenGov and the new website. Perfect. Any further questions on this item? Roll call?
Counselor Barbell?
Yes.
Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs?
Yes.
Counselor Brody?
Yes.
Counselor McFarland?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Yes.
Resolved in accordance with the request, therefore the Common Council approves the 4-day military leave of absence, October 3rd through 4th, 2020, and January 9th through 10th, 2021, for James Brake from his position as firefighter to perform his duties as an active member of the Army Reserve.
Moved by Councillor Gibbs, second by Councillor Brody. And I might add, once I asked whether there'd be any ramifications on overtime, and the chief felt there would not. There'd be no cost to the city, no additional costs. If there's no further questions, roll call?
Counselor Barbell?
Yes.
Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs?
Yes.
Counselor Brody?
Yes.
Counselor McFarland?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Yes.
Resolved that the mayor be authorized to sign a contract with Plattsburgh Housing Authority for the provision of supplemental police services by a Plattsburgh police officer, October 1st, 2020 to August 31st, 2021. The total revenue for the city is billed on a monthly basis per the contract.
Moved by Councillor Gibbs, second by Councillor Barbell. Discussion? And the chief's here if you have any additional questions for him.
So this is exactly what you had revealed to us. I think it was a week or two ago, right? I mean, there's the okay.
I had a chance to talk with Dean and just go over the particulars. He felt that it addressed the concerns that were raised, so we put it into the language, and that's what's in front of you.
Okay.
Further questions? Roll call?
Counselor Barbell?
Yes.
Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs?
Yes.
Counselor Brody?
Yes.
Counselor McFarland?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Yes.
Item G was added during the committee meeting. Sorry. Wait. Seriously. Resolved that the mayor be authorized to sign a grant contract with the New York State Department of State and all associated documents for use of the $825,000 funding allocation previously awarded to the city by the New York State Financial Restructuring Board to assist with the cost of the city's multiple downtown parking expansion projects.
Moved by Councilor Barbell and seconded by Councilor Kelly. Discussion?
So, what was the contract? I'm aware that we got the grant a year ago, and obviously that's being granted.
Well, for some of the newer councilors, the FRB is an entity that was appointed to the city to help the city out when it was in its recent dire financial straits, so hence the name Financial Restructuring Board. They're allocated a few $1 million to come up with worthwhile projects that can allow the city to be run more efficiently. In this case, and this is governed by a board in Albany of appointees, usually ex-mayors from different regions. Our Financial Restructuring Board, we're part of a region. We're assigned a regional director to help us in these sorts of projects. This project itself was to help lay the pathway so the DRI could proceed. It was recognized that the DRI could not proceed unless there's more parking. So that in a meeting, I think in June of 2018, they passed a resolution in Albany to set this money aside to the city for the purposes of building additional parking. And now that parking's been completed, and hence they're willing to fund the grant, pay the grant. Like a lot of grants in Albany, they won't pay you anything until actually the project has been completed. So that's why we're doing it now.
Mayor, do you know if the Financial Restructuring Board report is on our website?
It is actually, and if you all haven't seen a copy, we should get your copy, especially for the new councilors. I think most people have seen it, but it's really enlightening in advising us of some of the things we really ought to consider in our restructuring.
Yes, we really should pick that document up once again and start to review it and plan for some additional actions based on their recommendations.
And these are the advantage of working with these groups is they're designed not to bail out a city, they're designed to put the city back on the right track. And they have expertise from turning around cities from all across the state, right? So they've offered a lot of experience that's embodied in that report. How did this city down here solve this problem? How did that city over there get themselves out of that bind, etc.? So I think you're right at this time. I think it's really worthwhile for us to take a look at it again. Okay. So let's see if we can dig a copy of that out and get it to you.
Maybe in the finance
Is it on the
committee,
website?
Maybe in the finance committee meeting in 2 weeks, we can have a
Sure.
brief
And Beth just
discussion.
mentioned it is on the website, so she'll send you a link to it.
Okay, great.
Does the state still provide incentives for shared services? Or is
They
that
do,
funding
but it's
dried
been
up?
somewhat in abeyance because of COVID. Each county is required to do a shared services program. And then we had the biggest one back in 2017, if you recall. And then since then, they haven't been meeting with very many active projects. I'm hoping that our shared services for web services will go in there. It's small. What they do is they give you a share of your first year savings back. We have not been reimbursed from our 2017 savings. It's now 2020. So those reimbursements don't come very quickly apparently, but maybe the check's in the mail. It's only the first year savings. You still incur the first year savings as well as the little bonus, and then all the subsequent year savings. So it's a good program. It just hasn't been very active lately. Any other questions on this item? Roll call?
Counselor Barbell?
Yes.
Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Counselor Gibbs?
Yes.
Counselor Brody?
Yes.
Counselor McFarland?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Yes.
Do you want to announce your local new business for when you're working on the team? You want to call for just the public hearing I think you're looking for?
No, I think I was just, I don't know what you're asking.
I think he's asking you to call for a public hearing based on what he wrote out there for the thing he's working on with them.
Are you on new business now?
Yeah. Do you want me to do it on his behalf?
I'm not sure what we're asking for.
I'd like to introduce local law P4, the year 2020. Public hearing set for 10/15/2020 at 5 p.m. Titled Local Laws, a local law amending Chapter 300 subdivision of land and Chapter 360 zoning of the city code of the city of Plattsburgh to provide exemptions for city projects. Is there a copy for everybody here? Okay.
Counselors.
So, copy for me too? Just take a copy of that. Any other new business? Any additional council reports?
Oh,
I can't.
so I'm sure other councilors,
Sorry. Trying to
like
help
myself,
out
have
here.
been having a phone and emails.
Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome. Sorry.
Starting yesterday, today, about asking me to vote no on cutting public safety. And my response, pretty much to all of them was not entirely certain what we're talking about. I've read the agenda, and there is no cuts to public safety being put on, today. You have to be blind and not notice, that our hall, our lobby is full of police officers and, firemen. And, a lot of people responded, to my statement that I don't see anything on the agenda about cutting public safety. Well, we're gonna show up anyways because it can be added to the agenda last minute. And I think that's important to keep in mind. I know we just passed the FRB thing there, and I was a little hesitant on that even because it was put on the last minute, even though that's something that had been discussed for over a year. It wasn't something new. I do think we have to keep that in mind, that things on the agenda should be on the agenda at least well before, so that the public can know about it. And, because it really worries me when multiple constituents, made that, point. So I just wanted to put that in there.
Maybe we can make a resolution.
Well, we discussed it, we changed our rules because not allowing Rule 4 unless it's an absolute emergency. And obviously it's not on the agenda and no one's tried to add it on, but I just wanted to make it clear that that perception is a bit of a problem.
But in this case, Councilor McFarland, nobody's trying to add anything to the agenda. And in fact, this seems to have come from social media. Someone posted something on Facebook, and then the next thing you know, the whole community's in an uproar about it, and just something that's really not even on the table. So I don't know how this happened. I guess maybe if somebody in the audience knows, you could inform us, but it just, I really do believe the public would be better served to come to council meetings and hear what's going on rather than relying on social media, which quite often is wrong. So like to see more discussion in person, less ranting on Facebook, if at all possible in the future.
My understanding on that is, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that there was an item on the agenda brought forth, and that was changed before the agenda talked, and that the previous, I wasn't here, so I'm not entirely certain of what happened, but that it's been brought to my attention that there was, perhaps $900 because the public
Yes.
safety mentioned,
And if, again, had people attended the council meeting that week, they would have learned that that resolution was modified to ask for reductions in spending across all departments, not just public safety. So, we can go through these exercises, and we always welcome the public to come speak to us. But let's speak about facts, not suppositions. That would be my wish.
yeah, but clearly the public safety departments are a little worried that obviously we don't have a new budget or anything, and it's not presented yet. But,
We did pass a resolution just a couple of weeks ago to give the mayor instructions to revise his budget, and he had until October 8th to do that. Today is October 1st, so we're waiting. the finance committee has met with the mayor, and we understand that he's very close to releasing his revised budget that we asked him to do a couple of weeks ago. So he's worked very, very hard to make this happen, and I think we can look in anticipation for it come October 8th, or perhaps sooner.
Yeah, but I guess I can see why the public safety is
Well,
here.
there's a process that's followed every year. And the process is, there's the budget's proposed. We have public hearings on that. That then goes to the council, and there is public hearing on that. And then it is finalized. And that's how it happens every year.
I started it.
So there's no surprises, there's no such thing as a sneak vote. It's a process that has to occur.
Exactly, and that's what I told everybody. The council usually passes its budget in November. We try to get it done before Thanksgiving. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for everyone to give it, sorry.
Any further?
Perhaps what started though was the idea that the budget was being redone a second time, which is, I've been told by several people that it never happened before.
Yeah, well, I haven't been on the council very long, but I don't recall
I don't know how, does that happen often, Rich?
Pardon me?
That the mayor's budget is redone twice in the same press?
From my experience, the mayor's budget's done first, and then that's the basis for creating the council budget
Yeah.
going forward.
But I was just thinking that the decisions I've been speaking to were worried because the mayor usually doesn't present the budget twice,
Well,
or redo it twice.
we had this COVID situation which changed everything, and we've never had that before, right? So it kind of made things, we weren't up to date with all the financial information, and we still aren't. We won't know until the end of the year. Unfortunately, everything's backloaded. So what we're gonna get from the state, we still don't know those results, so it's delayed a lot of things and caused us to rethink some of our assumptions, not knowing what's gonna happen. I think they're just been keeping us posted on that. And, it's a different situation this year than we've ever had.
Well, I was just explaining perhaps the cause for the concern.
Well, yeah, that's very possible, we're all open, so.
Any further discussion or new business or council reports? Any closing public comments from the public on any issue of mutual concern?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Rosenquist, legislator, Area 9, obviously running for mayor. Good segue into what I'd like to ask this council. Certainly, it's not lost on me that managing a municipal budget that covers a range of expenses and revenues is a daunting task in most normal circumstances, but let alone now that we're seeing the local economic impact of this global pandemic, it's certainly more challenging now. Managing all the parts, knowing the bigger picture, and ensuring that our budget aligns with our goals is not always easy. As an elected official, I feel that our budget is a moral document that aligns our municipal resources to our community's goals and priorities. It aligns our purpose and the resources we have to fulfill that purpose. If the council proceeds with accepting a change to the mayor's budget, I ask that budget hearings be held. As in the past, the council has held public hearings in partnership with department heads, where each department's strategic goals are aligned with their budget requests and their needs to fulfill those goals. These hearings should be open to the public, be completely transparent, and allow for public comment and public input. Only after this, and only as needed, should the council make the appropriate changes. I feel that we can all agree that no specific department should be arbitrarily cut without careful, thoughtful, and thorough analysis. This is what's fair for our community, our employees, and any incoming new administration. Thank you very much.
Any other individuals like to please come forward and address the council?
Afternoon, Jamie Schwartz, President, Plattsburgh Professional Firefighters. I'd like to address the comment that was made about having conversations and coming to council meetings. I've been to council meetings. You got to pay attention to the agenda. What Councilor McFarland said about that being changed at the last minute was just wrong. I said the only reason I can come and talk to you guys here, this is the only way I can talk to you. I've spoken to a lot of you all before you got elected about changing that so we could have the dialogue with you guys. It's frustrating. We can't talk to you. And we get to the point where we're fed up. If we feel we're gonna get cut, safety is at risk. That's why we're all here tonight. We got a lot of people here that don't feel that's fair. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other individuals like to please come forward?
Good evening.
It's not a mic.
Okay, I apologize.
It's a recording mic.
Luckily, I'm loud, but good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you this evening. My name is Melinda Seiden, and I'm an Assistant District Attorney for Clinton County. More specifically, I handle all the sex crimes and crimes against children for the county, but more importantly, more specific to this evening, I handle all the felonies out of the city of Plattsburgh. I wanted to speak with you tonight to really express the honor that I feel and the privilege I feel to work with the members of the Plattsburgh City Police Department. From day, morning till night, they handle cases of extreme importance with the most dignity and respect for the city of Plattsburgh. What's important to note is that a case does not begin and end with an arrest. Given the new laws of discovery, which began January 1st of this year, these officers are told with extreme responsibility. They are solely responsible for assuring that we have every piece of evidence, from videos to witness statements, that allow us to properly go forward and find justice and arrest someone appropriately or find out if they are innocent. These officers don't only, after an arrest, meet with me and the members of my office, but they also help with victims and assuring that they want to work with our office and making them feel comfortable. Even after a case is made an arrest, their job does not end there. They're responsible for prepping with us to go over grand jury testimony as well as prepping for trial. I work with them day in and day out, and I cannot be more honored and privileged to work with them. They come to my office, and I have victims repeatedly say to me, I feel secure, and I want to testify and go forward because of how those officers made me feel. They listened, and they cared. I would always want to speak before this council, but it disheartens me at the idea of speaking to you at the tragedy of losing members of that department. This department cannot risk to lose a member. In fact, they need to gain members. Because of them, I'm able to do my job. I'm able to make sure that the children are happy, that they feel safe, and I'm able to assure that the cases are investigated properly. And I can honestly say to you that their job, the diligence that they do daily, makes it easier for my office, but also for the citizens of this city to proudly say that they are protected by this police department. And I urge you to please do not take away any members of this department. They cannot risk to lose one, let alone multiple. In fact, I ask you to give them more members of the department to make sure that every citizen of this city knows that whether it's a misdemeanor, violation, or felony, these officers are given the resources they need to perform the duties that they do daily, and with such pride, give them the resources that allow them to really truly do their job. Thank you.
Can I ask you just a short question?
Yes.
What leads you to believe that there's a proposal to reduce the number of officers in the department?
It was brought to my attention that potentially there is a risk in terms of the budget and reducing the amount of officers for the department.
I do not believe that's on the table, but thank you for your comments, though.
Thank you.
Any other individuals like to please come and address the council?
Would you like me to keep my mask on?
Yes, please.
My name is Julie Ross. I'm a resident of the city of Plattsburgh, and I'm a retired police lieutenant from the Plattsburgh Police Department. I recently emailed all of the councilors and you, Mr. Mayor, an email regarding how unhappy I was with the proposed budget cuts. I would like to read the email and then I would like to address your question that you asked of the last speaker. So if you'll bear with me. I strongly object to your proposed budget cuts in the area of public safety. According to the last meeting that I watched, these cuts were not necessary as we already had a surplus in the budget. Therefore, I can only assume that these cuts are being proposed to satisfy personal agendas for some of the councilors. The city of Plattsburgh has seen an increasing crime rate over the years, along with a decreasing police force. I believe eliminating more positions from the police department would be a detriment to the citizens of the city of Plattsburgh and the surrounding communities. This is not a time to lighten up and back down on public safety and let criminals get the upper hand. I think each of you should make the effort to look at A, the number of violent crimes investigated in the city of Plattsburgh in the last 5 years, B, the number of drug cases investigated in the city of Plattsburgh in the last 5 years, and C, the quantity of drugs that have been taken out of circulation because of the committed efforts of the Plattsburgh Police Department and other local law enforcement agencies. I think you would all be extremely surprised to find out how significant Plattsburgh is in the drug trade. If that's what you want for your constituents who put you in office, your friends and your family, then shame on all of you. To address the question you asked the last speaker about where this information came from about a proposed budget cut, I have in my hand an agenda from the Common Council meeting, September 17th, 2020. It reads F, resolved that the Common Council hereby encourages the mayor to present a revised budget for 2021 prior to October 8th of this year, providing that the 2021 budget for the regular payroll line items within the Public Safety Division be reduced by at least $900,000, and the 2021 budget for the regular payroll line items with the Executive, Finance, Staff, and Shared Services divisions be reduced by at least $150,000. So to those counselors who wrote back to me and said, I don't know where you're getting that information from, I don't know why you're hearing $900,000, I hold in front of me your agenda from the 17th.
No,
Thank
actually,
you.
I think that was withdrawn, that agenda item.
Pardon me?
That agenda item was withdrawn.
It still was out there. If you're wondering where, I didn't say it was a current item, sir. What I said is, if you're wondering where the information came from and why people are upset, that's where it came from. It's not just social media gossip or word that's been spread around. It actually is something that was seen by people in the community who became upset and unhappy by it. And I think that's why you see the crowd you have here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good evening. My name is Jim Manchester. I'm a member of Ward 4. I live here in the city. I want to start by just saying I appreciate the dire budget circumstances that you all face. I'm certainly concerned about the loss of services that would impact, the services that I'm able to take advantage of with the city and fire. So my first thought is to urge you to reconsider some of the budget cuts that you're making to both of those departments as a member of this community. I also stand here as one of the co-principals at Plattsburgh High School and just wanted to let you know that the potential impact that this could have with some of the support we receive specifically from members of the police department, obviously with the loss of the SROs, that has had an effect for our students so far at the beginning of this year, what has been a very difficult year to start. I wanted to let you know that their impact is basically felt from my observations as a role model. I know that there are some negative views that were expressed as far as what they provide to our school. And then I would also like to just say personally that Officer Wolf has been has made a major impact to our schools, not just the Plattsburgh High School, but throughout the city school district. You know, if the police department were to lose as many positions as what's being projected, and we lost him in addition to the SROs, it's certainly going to be felt amongst our students. And you know, I can sit here as a principal and say that he does offer a very important service to our kids in a positive role model figure. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Please come forward.
Hi. My name's Seth Silver. This is my second time before this council. I was here a couple of weeks ago where I voiced some displeasure with the discontinuation of the school resource officer program. That was brought up in a council meeting without any advance notice and voted on, and then it just became reality. So I came to protest that basically, and that was met with no avail. This time I'm here because it was brought up in a meeting with really no agenda ahead of time about cutting some $900,000 from a public safety budget. That was discussed. We were under the impression it was going to be on the agenda tonight, and now it's not. So I guess the main reason why I'm here is I'm a little confused. I thought that the city government and the city council worked for the people of Plattsburgh, for the taxpayers of Plattsburgh. I guess I'm just confused as to where this idea came from of cutting money without any taxpayer input at all. And no taxpayers, to my knowledge, were consulted about this. No one, I mean, this seems like something should be voted on, or something should at least be discussed with members of the different wards of the city. To me, that seems like basic government. I wrote some emails. I was told that the city has a low crime rate, which is true, and there's a reason for that, is we have a fantastic police department. Our fire department saved a house this week that would have burned down had they not been super fast response and had trucks there within 4 minutes. Our cops just this week solved a racially motivated hate crime downtown. Fantastic job. I don't think now is the time to talk about cuts to public safety when they're doing such good work. So you got hardworking people who now come to work and they're scared about their coworkers potentially losing their jobs or them losing their jobs. And that's not how it should be. They should be showcased for doing a fantastic job. I guess I'll finish. I've been emailing back and forth with Mr. Kelly a few times. I was informed that the police department used to be 9 members. That's true. Back in like the 20s. That is absolutely ludicrous to even suggest in today's day and age with the change in demographics and the change in crime and just the way things are today. I was informed that there's data that backs this plan of the $900,000 or $800,000, whatever. I would like to say I'd like to see the data, and I think everyone present or everyone else in the community in the city of Plattsburgh would love to see that data. I think it may shed some light on where this is coming from, hopefully. So I guess I'll wrap up there. I just wanted to voice again a confusion as to how things work in the city, and also a request formally to see this data that may
Mr.
enlighten
Silver,
us.
I haven't had a chance to get back to you after, I don't remember the last time we
It's
corresponded.
very recent. It's understandable, yeah.
But if you would like to see the data, we certainly can make it available to you. We can do it either in a council meeting, or we can do it one-on-one, or in small groups, whatever you want.
Well, maybe I'm off base with my view on how a city government works, but shouldn't it be in a council meeting so that public taxpayers like myself, like everyone here, can see it?
If you came to every we shouldn't talk back and forth too much in this forum.
We shouldn't, but it should be available to the taxpayer base of the city of Plattsburgh, not just me, not just the council members, but all of the citizens, and that's my point.
And most of the action that we take routinely happens in this room.
Mm-hmm.
There is some behind the scenes discussion before we get here, but once we get here, it's wide open to the public, always. So you're always welcome to come attend meetings and comment like you've done tonight.
Well, great, thank you. That's why we're here. So
okay,
thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Boyce. I run Fred Valeri's studio in Plattsburgh for the last 37 years. Excuse me?
You can't hear. If you just wait till they're done, 'cause
Okay,
I'm not
sorry.
gonna be able to pick it up on that.
Okay. My name is David Boyce. I run Fred Valeri's in the studio for the last 37 years here in the city of Plattsburgh. Me and my wife have invested heavily in the city with buildings and things. And I just implore you not to cut any of the emergency services. We have a low crime rate. I had a school in Long Island for 10 years, okay, and managed 8 others. They could not believe that my kids could ride bicycles to school. Unbelievable in this day and age. So I'm just here to say I support all the emergency services, and I think you should really think heavily before you make a decision on cutting the budget. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to thank the Plattsburgh City Police for a wonderful job catching this guy that was a hate crime Friday. I believe that if they had more help, this guy would have been caught a lot quicker. I have a 26-year-old black man that could have lost his life in the city of Plattsburgh. Well, a bunch of you dummies sit here thinking about cutting our police department. Okay, those are the ones that are protecting us. Okay, you guys want to talk about cutting the fire department? A bunch of you old people back there are going to be calling the ambulance. And Gibbs, you are very rude to the chief of police last week. Okay, I had some respect for you. Don't look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. You are very rude to him last Thursday. Okay?
David, I don't
those
know.
are rude to. Don't tell me you don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. Let's go.
I don't know what that was about. I'm sorry.
Any other individuals like to please come address the council?
I'm Shannon Perrier. I'm the owner of Runs with Scissors Salon, right across the way. I want to start out by saying that I've been a salon owner for 10 years. I've been down in the location that I'm in now, it's going on 8 years. I love downtown Plattsburgh, I really do. But one of the things that has crossed my mind is the safety within the last couple years. I'm a sole proprietor, I'm there by myself. And I'm at my salon around about 8 a.m. or so. I don't get done until about 6 or 7. I see a lot, and I've seen a lot. As being a daughter of two EMS providers and a 911 dispatcher, it's the first, when you call 911, you want somebody to pick up. When something is going wrong or you see something bad, call the police, or you call 911, or you call the paramedics. Last week there was a fire downtown when I walked out of work. Back in August, on a Friday afternoon about 1:30 p.m., I had one of my clients who's 14 years old. One of the police officers came into my salon and he said, I need to have some hand sanitizer. Anyway, I looked. Probably about 45 seconds. I looked out and there's a person in the middle of the road on Lower Court Street, lifeless. He's obviously ODing on something. And all I thought was, what can I do to help? So I ran back to my salon. I had my client's son, who's 14, he came out. That moment was so influential on so many different levels. Within 10 seconds, not only was there one police officer, there was 3, and then there was 5. And then the ambulance was there within 3 minutes, I would say. This person is not doing well at this point. I thought to myself after, I said,
you know, right after and then a couple days after. What if it wasn't for the police? What if it wasn't for that police officer running into my salon? What if it wasn't for those EMS people, those 5 officers that made that person feel comfortable and saved their life with Narcan? 4 milligrams of Narcan. I've never seen Narcan in my life. The following morning, I saw this white cap in the park, and I said, oh my God, this was what saved the person's life. It was that police officer. It was 911. It was EMS. It was, I need you to reconsider. What if that was your son or daughter in the middle of Lower Court Street that was just lifeless? What if it was your house that was on fire that last week I had no idea? What if it was that couple that you hear arguing? What if it was for that young person that walks by your salon? Yeah, I really want to be a police officer. I just need you to think of those things. Every day when I go into my salon, I think of my safety and happy thoughts, but also you never know when something is going to happen. And I depend on the police, the EMS, everybody helping each other. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other individuals like to please come address the council? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Councilor Gibbs, second by Councilor Barbell. Roll call, please.
Councilor Barbell?
Yes.
Councilor Kelly?
Yes.
Councilor Gibbs?
Yes.
Councilor Brody?
Yes.
Councilor McFarland? Yes. Councilor Moore?
Yes.
Thank you, folks, for coming.